Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
No, I can't do it that way. I'd never be able to do it with a straight face.
Don't worry, you won't feel a thing until I jam this thing in your ear.
Okay.
All right. Straight face, serious video game journalism.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Z Trigger Podcast, where everybody runs. I am your host, Brandon, and with me, as always, is
William Hill.
Yes.
I never run.
No, that's because we weren't in the horrible Minority Report game that Activision made back in 2001.
Totally not getting an HD remake.
No. No.
We're trying to prove you're innocent of the crime that you are not going to commit. You beat the shit out of hundreds of people.
Yes, you do. God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
So we're going to be discussing some video game stuff tonight, but also I am on YouTube, and if you are watching this on YouTube, hi, you know that you are watching me on YouTube. I am playing Super Mario Bros. 3 tonight. How shocked are we that it took this long for me to play Mario Bros. 3 on our show?
Well, to be fair, you were actually working on other things for a while.
You're right, I was. But, I mean, I am still. But now I want to play Mario Bros. 3 because I don't remember why I specifically want to play Mario Bros. 3. Actually, I do. I looked at... Okay, so I'm playing this on the NES Classic right now, which is why it looks so utterly beautiful in HDMI output, 1080p or whatever the hell your P's and Q's and shit are. I don't know. I'm going to totally get hit by the shell if I don't fucking chill out. Oh, shit. Oh, sweet, I killed the fireball. Anyway, I have the book that Prima did, the poorly edited, low-res, image-filled strategy guide type thing they did for the NES Classic. Mm-hmm. Because they're doing one for the Super Nintendo Classic as well. And I was looking at it, and for all of its flaws, I still like the book. I like the articles they put in it. I like the little bit of strategies you get for stuff like Mario Bros. 3 and the Legend of Zelda one, because I suck at the original Legend of Zelda. And the Legend of Zelda 2, that game's harder than hell. So anyway, I was looking at the book and was looking at the Mario 3 part, and I was like, man, I have 2 strategy kits for Mario Bros. 3. Because I also have the one that came out for Mario Advance 4. Mm-hmm. I'm such a stupid bastard about this game. And so anyway, I was like, you know what? I haven't played this in so long. I want to play Mario Bros. 3. But I know once I play it, I'm going to get through like 3 or 4 worlds and stop, because that's usually how a game of Mario 3 runs for me, unless I'm really in the groove and get through the whole thing in a single sitting, which I haven't done in quite some time. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, you know what? If I'm going to play this game for a short amount of time, I should do it for the podcast. And here we are, recording a podcast. So I've been playing other stuff this week, but Brandon, why don't you tell us what you've been playing? It sounds like you haven't been playing very much.
No, because I started reading Lord of Chaos, of course, like I told on the book show, last week. And this week is just like, I'm finishing this book. Because I want to move to another book. So that's what I did. I did finish it last night. So now I can do other things.
What number book is that in that series?
6.
So you're almost to the really bad one.
No, I guess relatively I am. I mean, we're talking about, what, book 10? And most of
it's 10?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 8 or 9.
No, the really bad one's book 10. Then it gets better with book 11.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I have been playing Myst 4 Revelations. Continuing my Myst kick. I'm stuck in I'm guessing it's the Spire Age is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing a puzzle involving power switches and a floating ball of wishes. It was a helicopter. I don't know what else to call it. It's a strange little flying machine, and it goes from one island to another. Oh my god, I died. Terrible form.
Jeez.
I am sucking tonight. This is not going to be a run where I finish. But other than that, I started. So I picked up a couple of Wii U games this week. I just picked up a couple of Wii U games. Joe's pretty much on a mission to have me at least 25 Wii U games before they leave stores.
Jeez.
And we're at 15 now. Because it's dirt cheap, I've gotten games like Zombie U, and I also got Ninja Gaiden 3. And I don't expect Ninja Gaiden 3 to be, good or anything, but I'm kind of hoping it'll at least be sort of fun. And it is sort of fun, except for the fact that the first boss ruins me.
Well,
so,
it is Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So at least it's living up to being Ninja Gaiden. Other than that, I've kind of been knocking around on PC trying to find stuff I want to play out of my PC library because I'm still sort of focused on the goal of playing through more of my library of games. It's really funny that I actually got Myst 4 to work. I'm going to kick your ass this time, you goofy bastard. And I don't know. It's like I have a stack of PC games that I have I have physically, and I'm still trying to hold that to the same rule of law that I have all my other games, and half of them won't work. I know, and I'll have to download and buy digital versions and all that crap. So I actually installed Star Wars: The Old Republic, but I haven't turned it on yet. Mm-hmm. And part of that's because I don't have anybody to play it with. Part of it's because it left such a bad taste in my mouth last time.
Oh, well, we're talking about the MMO?
Yeah.
You have a copy of the MMO?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
You didn't know that?
No, I have that.
You do?
Dude, I got that for Christmas on the year it came out.
I bought it the week after it went free to play because Target had it for $7.
Damn.
In the box.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a DVD box with a disc inside that you don't need.
Yeah, I mean, I had it. Yeah, I had it back when you had to pay money to play.
So tell me this, Brandon: is it just me, or is it completely anti-role playing to play that game?
I mean, it's about as role playing as every other fucking MMO, which means to say it is not. It's just actually, honestly, it is the most generic MMO that you can get. It might have changed now, they might have added stuff and made it different, but when I played it, it was wow, there's absolutely nothing on this aside from being Star Wars that makes it worth playing.
Well, here's my issue. And this is, kind of picking into what I don't like about BioWare's role-playing design. And I've talked about this on the show before, but it bears repeating because it's still goddamn true. And I keep dying on this easy-ass level. This is pathetic. So my problem with the Old Republic is very simple. You can play as a smuggler, or, as a criminal,
Mm-hmm.
a rogue, if you want to get generic. And you can't break the law and still receive rewards from the mission. You can get really crappy rewards, whereas if you went lovable rogue or complete asshole, you get the good loot that way. And I think it sucks that in order to get good loot, you have to play as an asshole. You have to play as an asshole or as Han Solo. Maybe I want to be Han Solo in A New Hope rather than Han Solo in Return of the Jedi, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on. Let me make my decision, BioWare, and let it be mine.
Honestly, I mean, you're talking about it from, Xbox days. Honestly, doing what they had back then was honestly really new. I mean, yeah, you had their RPGs on the computer, which were They were a little different because they didn't really have the alignment system outside of just the D&D thing, and then it didn't play a role. But I mean, I don't. Even nowadays, I don't expect that to come up.
I don't know. It seems like it's something that should still be in the game.
I think
It's not that complicated where you can. I mean, like, I want to have some reward for role playing, not just playing as like, oh my god, there's a box there I didn't see before. I may play this game again someday and see what's going on there. God damn it! I keep dying in the same fucking spot. How am I doing this, Brandon? I've beaten this game. I've beaten this game before, and I can't get past one of the easiest goddamn levels in World 2. Oh, I'm so irritated by my own lack of quality in playing. But no, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's like, this is the most authentic role-playing experience in the Star Wars universe that you can get on the PC, yet don't you dare not play hard left or hard right on good and evil. Like, that sucks. Like,
Well, see, the problem is you're trying to argue gameplay. I mean, you either have more gameplay elements or you have less gameplay elements. They were trying to add a reward system to your decision making. Yeah, if you went both ways, you end up fucking yourself.
And I did. Man, did I. Like, I got to this, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but you got on a ship to leave the planet in the plot, and sure enough, I couldn't get through that part because my weapon wasn't good enough to kill stuff fast enough, and I didn't have a party, so I was screwed because I was playing completely solo. Which, I finally made it out. Alright. God. Oh. Damn it! Okay, I'm gonna live this time. Anyway, finally, as I've used 6 lives to get out of this incredibly easy level, how pathetic. Because I screwed myself, I got stuck. Yeah, and and as a result, I felt screwed out of continuing the game.
I mean, I see what you want, and it would be nice, but I feel like there's something. I mean, because even Witcher 3 doesn't do that.
But The Witcher 3 doesn't tout this incredibly deep moral choice system that BioWare always likes to flaunt about.
No, it doesn't, and
it's better for it, really.
But it's also
because
it's also a different type of experience.
It is, absolutely, but it's a better kind of experience because it does have, like, your choices mean something in The Witcher 3, but it never says whether what you did was good or bad. It lets you make that decision on your own. It lets you carry the moral weight of your decisions on your own. And I think that's one of the most brilliant things about Witcher 3 in terms of telling its story.
But the problem with Star Wars is it is a universe that is hinged on decisions, like your moral compass. It is very much hinged on that. Whether you're a Jedi or not, people do pay attention to how much good or bad you do.
Oh, sweet, 5 lives. Okay, that's actually a very good point. That is actually the only good defense I've ever really heard for that design aesthetic in the Old Republic.
I mean, honestly, to me, it's still not a very good argument because
it's not.
Basically, there is a better way to do it, but I don't think you're ever going to get the freedom that you want in a Star Wars game.
No, I probably won't. And frankly, it wouldn't bother me so much if BioWare didn't, suck their own cock so much. If they didn't think that they were the absolute be-all, end-all of role-playing game design, it would not bother me. But it does, because they keep making games like Mass Effect Andromeda that aren't very good, and continue to say that they are great role-playing game designers. Well, they don't say that, but you know what I mean.
Hell, that studio's not around anymore.
The one that made Andromeda, they are shut down, aren't they?
Yeah, they shut them down. Well, I mean, they at least didn't fire them. They just absorbed them into the people who are making Anthem.
Oh, so they didn't really shut them down. They just made them part of a soulless corporate entity that's making a soulless knockoff of Destiny, which
Sort of.
was
I mean, technically that studio is gone. They did officially close it. They just moved the employees to somewhere else instead of just getting rid of them. Which is, I mean, is better. I mean, at least people didn't lose their jobs.
that's true. They could have pulled a classic EA and fired everybody. But that's what I would expect, because EA is in fact the devil.
Yeah, I mean, I who is surprised that they shut that studio down? That's what they do every fucking time a game fails. They never say, "Oh, that was our fault." No, they go, "That was your fault. You're shut down. You're never making another. You're not making a game by yourself anymore."
Oh noes. Well, I mean,
Because Lord
we always
knows
have,
they won't take blame themselves. I mean,
absolutely not.
well, I mean, they're the ones who decided.
God forbid they take credit for destroying a game like Ultima 8 or 9.
or Command and Conquer, or Dead Space, or hell, fucking Dragon Age, Mass Effect. The list can probably just go on endlessly.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the fact is there's probably more studios that have been shut down by EA than some publishers have released games. And that's really sad because, there were some great like PC studios back in the 90s like Bullfrog and, of course, Origin Systems and now Westwood. And soon it'll be BioWare getting out of that list. Although I don't see them making BioWare the name of their next crappy online content delivery service like they did Origin. Didn't find... I'll take that. Okay. So, but yeah, I don't know. EA, clearly I don't have a lot of fondness for EA anymore. I used to be able to defend some of the stuff they do, but like, I can't actually think of the last time I wanted to buy an EA game new. And seeing as I buy way too many goddamn games, that's not a good sign of what they do as a studio. I missed it. I'm really bad at the tile, the little sliding imaging game to get extra lives in this game. Oh God, Brandon, I am so glad I threw this game in. When was the last time you actually played Mario Bros. 3?
Forever.
It's been a while. You're not as obsessed with it as I am. I went to the wrong one. I'm an idiot. So anyway, what is on the docket for tonight? Since we've had our ritual, our weekly ritual of bashing the shit out of EA.
Well, I mean, speaking of Anthem, the lead designer died.
Well, that's not a good thing to do after we've just spent an hour or 10 minutes bashing EA. Oh, tell us about him and his legacy of things he did.
He was involved with Mass Effect.
That's a good thing. That's better than Anthem's gonna be.
See, he included titles like Sonic Chronicles, Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2 and 3.
Hey, 2's not bad.
It's not great either.
Man, there are some people who would be like, "Oh my God, Mass Effect 2's the bestest though."
No, fuck that noise. In terms of an actual being an RPG based on what I expect from BioWare, you cannot do better than the first one ever, because it was an RPG. And it didn't bullshit around with trying to be an action game than what it was. Yes, I could shoot, but it was still an RPG.
Yes, it was. And you know what? It also had the wasn't it the Mako? The little car you could go and drive around the different planets? I'm a sucker for the Mako. Yes. I know it's not good, but I love the Mako.
Honestly,
I am weird.
That's one of the only things that I am actually looking forward to when I finally get around to playing Andromeda, is they pretty much brought that back.
Oh, don't tell me that. You're going to make me want to play the game, and I don't want to play that game.
So not only did they take that away in 2 and 3, but they took away majority of the RPG elements. And I mean, I don't know. It was not a BioWare game after the first one.
It was an EA game at that point.
Yes.
You're right.
Same thing with Dragon Age. I mean, what's funny is they did the exact same thing to Mass Effect 2 that they did to Dragon Age 2. But for whatever reason, people loved Mass Effect 2 but hated Dragon Age 2. Now, I didn't like Dragon Age 2, but I wasn't that big of a fan of the first one either.
I don't know anybody that likes Dragon Age 2. I know plenty of people who like the first one, but not the second one. I've heard the worst about the second one.
It was bad.
Well, it is very sad that this man has passed.
Yeah.
I feel we're going to send our condolences to his family. Tell me though, Brandon, the first game you mentioned on the list was Sonic Chronicles.
Uh-huh.
The BioWare RPG of Sonic the Hedgehog,
which I own.
Have you? How much have you played of that?
Not much. I've attempted to play it before, but I'm bad at playing my console games, but I'm really bad at my handheld games. So I've not really touched that one all too much.
But you've played it some, right? Like you could tell me. Damn, I just died.
I mean, yeah, like
what can you tell me about that game? Because that's such a strange concept. It was strange enough that when Mario did RPG, but Sonic is not even sedate enough for an RPG like Mario is.
I can tell you what people thought of it. People liked it. I can't really tell you much about the gameplay because it's been so long. I don't remember.
I remember videos of it showing like actual running and like loop-de-loops and stuff on the terrain. Like it was really trying to be like Mario RPG. But God, that's just another one in the long line of games where Sega was trying to keep Sonic relevant. Which, has been a chore altogether. I mean, the first time people have been legitimately excited for a Sonic game and that excitement hasn't been silenced close to release is Sonic Mania. And that's because it's essentially just Sonic 3.5.
Sonic Mania.
God, I'm actually legitimately excited about that game coming out in a week and change. I have my copy paid for. So I got my stupid statue of Sonic standing on top of the Genesis.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey, man, I don't care. I think that thing is cool as hell, and I put my money down just to have that statue. And also, yes, I got the game as well. But I've got the Sonic statue, and that's really cool. I mean, it kind of plays on the fact that, I love my Genesis, which I'm very strange in that I didn't have Genesis as a kid, and I love the Genesis as much as I do. And I'm super looking forward to playing this. The game looks great, and unlike, like I said, every other Sonic game that I haven't, been cognizant of its release, going from the GameCube forward, where I've been able to follow the game's press, right up to a game's release. You know how they call it the Sonic hype cycle, where it's like, oh my god, it's a new Sonic game, it looks great, and then the game gets closer to release, and then it just dies down, and after it comes out, nobody gives a shit anymore.
Yep.
That's not been the case with this game. It's still getting videos and stuff from all the major press outlets and previews of people playing it at events and stuff like PAX and whatnot. All have had events for Sonic Mania, and it's almost like they're undoing all of the dumb press and bad shit that's been happening as a result of Sonic being announced in the past couple of years. It's uncanny. It's like it's dodging every bullet that usually gets shot at the Sonic franchise. By the way, how the hell does Mario shoot fireballs underwater? Anyway,
I don't know. You're asking a question about a game from
1988 originally, and then 1990 here in the States. Things that would not happen anymore. 2-year separation between game releases. So yeah, I'm legitimately excited for Sonic Mania. I may be one of 20 people who is still, ready for that game to come out. And not being cynical about it. My copy's paid for. I can't wait to put my giant statue, my giant Sonic statue up in my room, in my office.
Oh boy.
Hey man, you don't hear any remorse in my voice about that one. How about this? Would you recommend that I pick up Sonic the Dark Brotherhood if I see it in a store for a decent amount?
Probably, yeah. Cause, I mean, it wasn't a bad game by no means.
I'm going to die a lot in this level. I should probably suit up with some better gear because I've never been good at this level. All right, here we go. If I have fire, it will be easy, and I like easy. So, speaking of Nintendo, though, the SNES Classic is actually going to get pre-orders, like not like the Walmart pre-orders that got canceled 2 weeks later or whatever.
Fucking bastards.
Yeah, I can't believe that I hope they at least give you the option to get back on the pre-order.
Oh no, they're not. Yeah, the same option that everybody else has. Be up there when it happens, mofo.
Sweet. Hang on. That shows bad business on Walmart's part then, because they should at least give somebody like you who did the pre-order the chance to get in, first before anybody else. Otherwise, it's like a great big middle finger to anybody who actually did get in the first time. But for me, Joe and I are both watching, and she's got email alerts set up so that if it happens, that she might be able to get one. For me, because we won't sell it if we get it. We're not one of those douchebags. I'm still kind of. It's still offensive to me. Anybody who does, buy these consoles like this or the Switch specifically to sell, because this shit's like really fun. Like, it's actual video game systems that people want to buy. And somebody's gonna, go out there and, I'm not saying it's illegal or anything, and clearly it's their money, but it's douchey as shit to spend $80 on something and then flip it for $400 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that people who want one actually get one, and that it's not just a bunch of goddamn scalpers. That will be the most upsetting thing if that happens rather than... Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, I'm playing one of the Bertha levels, which is in World 3 with the big fish that, can eat you in one hit. The levels that my sister and I used to argue about who would get stuck doing these levels, so I got better at them. I just died again. I'm probably not going to make it through this run. I'm about to run out of lives. Like I said, I hope that the people who want an SNES Classic to play the games rather than to sell it will actually get one, and I hope that all the retailers only sell one to each person in the pre-order cycle, and I hope that whenever the stores get them, that they only sell one to each person as well, because fuck scalpers, as we have said so many times on this damn show. By the way, I actually saw an update on N4G a couple days ago saying that that there was actually the most substantial Switch shipment since launch actually went to Japanese stores last week. Probably to coincide with Splatoon. Ooh, hello, glitch. Oh shit! Damn it, I died. So Nintendo's trying to get systems in stores for the thing that they're going to keep in production more than one time. So I'm going to skip a world, Brandon. Fuck World 3. What world do you want to go to?
World 3.
Go to hell. Your options are 5, 6, and 7. That's Sky World, Ice World, and Pipe World.
Why did it skip 4?
I don't have any idea. Maybe because skipping World 3 to go to World 4 is kind of lazy.
What if you just really like World 4 but don't want to go through World 3 to get there?
Then you should have used a warp whistle at World 2 or 1.
Jeez.
I've got 3 of the damn things. I always get all 3 warp whistles. I'm going to go to World 5. It's my favorite world. And if you really decide that you want me to go to World 6 or 7, I can use another warp whistle, because I have 3 of them. Oh, no, that said, I am looking forward to the book, because I'm really hoping that Prima does a better job with their SNES Classic book than they did the NES Classic book. Like, I'm hoping it has higher resolution images and that they, have better coverage for the various games. Like, they should actually do, like, strategy guides in those books for the role-playing games. Like, one of the things I think is so irritating about the... Damn you, chain chomp dick. Oh, that's actually really interesting. I did not know that there was a good trick for getting it 99 lives in 3-4, and I just skipped World 3. Oops. Not that I was getting through level 3 anyway of World 3. I was saying a thing. Oh, the Prima book. Because, frankly, it would be nice to have a quality, like, visually oriented strategy guide for something like Secret of Mana, or Final Fantasy VI deserves a new print of a strategy guide. One that's better than the Prima book. Well, not was it Prima? No, the Brady Games book from the Final Fantasy Anthology collection. Mm-hmm. So, especially Secret of Mana, because I'm pretty sure that even buying Nintendo Powers that have Secret of Mana coverage in it costs a small fortune, because Nintendo Power magazines are expensive to buy a lot of the old issues for. Okay. Oh, I fell.
Shit.
And because... Oh, okay, cool, I got my mushroom anyway. I've actually been able to get up to the top before, but... Oh, man. Oh, hell, that was really bad. Oh, man, I am playing an embarrassingly bad game of Mario 3 tonight, Brandon. I wish I had my my last full run of Mario 3 on tape in some way, shape, or form, because it was pretty glorious. I haven't done that in so long. Well, anyway, you're still trying to get an SNES Classic, though. You're not turning into one of the many people who have become cynical of the entire thing and are just gonna get a Raspberry Pi with an emulator and all that jazz.
I'm cynical, but I'm not doing that. Listen, if I want one of these things, I'm not going to buy something that requires me to put work into to make it function. I'm not fucking stupid.
You're not stupid?
Yeah, I mean, those things just don't, function right out of the box. You have to get them set up, and then you have to, then you have to get them, No, it's just, no. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to buy one of the things. If I was going to fucking mess with some Raspberry Pi, I would just take, my damn my PSP is rooted, is hacked. If I want to do something, I'll just put it on that, but I don't. So why would I buy a Raspberry Pi? Oh, good lord.
Sorry. We had a question in the chat, and you were talking, and I didn't want to interrupt you. Yes, I do play old games a lot. I do not stream as much as I should, but I did do a run of Ribbon last week, as I just said in the chat. And that was fun. I didn't record the last part, and I'm still trying to decide whether or not I want to go back and do that.
Yes, you should. You rob these people of the ending.
Well, if I show the ending, I literally show the answer to the last puzzle.
But you still, don't you still have to go out and do the other puzzles to make the last puzzle work? Or is it one of the, like with Myst, you just need to know that the 2 pages that you actually need are on the starting island?
Okay, so here's how Riven works in terms of its puzzles, and I will be covering this in a video soon if I can sit down and actually do the editing and recording and stuff, because I haven't had time. I've had a really long week at work. So Riven, it's a point-and-click adventure game from the golden age of point-and-click adventures in the late 90s. Yay, my favorite part of the game. And whenever you are playing the game, you are ultimately finding the solution to 2 puzzles. One is the puzzle that gets you into Moiety Age, which involves identifying animal sounds, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds, and then matching it to these stones and hitting those stones in the right order to access a book that takes you to the age. And the other one is the marble puzzle, which involves identifying the colors associated with logos found on domes on the island, and then also placing those marbles on a grid that is tied to the location of said domes on the various islands of the game. That is a mouthful to say out loud, Jesus. Now, the grid location never changes. The animals that you have to identify never change. What does change is the solution to open the telescope at the end of the game that accesses the starfisher. That changes, and also, oh god, what was the other thing that changes at the end in that game? It's one of the things found in Gen's journal on disc 3. So there are two things that are completely randomized, and then everything else is entirely about exploring the map. And it's all, and Riven is fascinating, but you have to go into it expecting exactly what Riven is, which is a 1990s point-and-click game that is all still frame images. There are like FMV low-quality video animations, and that's it as far as like movement. It's a very old-fashioned experience, but I have a fondness for what Cyan Worlds developed back at the time. I need to beat this thing, and I am not going to be able to do it.
Well, at the time, they were the only ones that were heavily into puzzles. I mean, the other adventure games had puzzles, but it was never anything like that.
They were never quite as esoteric as Riven.
No. I still remember having to do the stupid sound ones from Myst, and just
to get into the rocket ship,
yeah. Oh,
the age on the rocket ship, you had to match keyboard tones to these sliders. God, that game was harder than hell. But the thing that's really interesting, going from Myst to Riven, is that Myst is a collection of obscure and challenging puzzles in a beautiful pre-rendered world. Riven is a collection of two puzzles with tons of world building that tells you the answers. And as a result, Riven makes for a better game here, 20 years later. God, I'm old. I'm old. I like Myst and Riven, and I fondly look upon them. I still need to read the books. When I do that, you have the first one, right? You have the first Myst book, right?
Yeah. Do those
when
require, the game?
The first book, the Book of Atris, if I recall correctly, is actually a prequel to Myst.
Okay.
So I imagine it helps. Depending on whose review you read of the book from, whenever that book was released, you may want to know the game. Some would say you don't need to. To answer our viewer, I have beaten Super Mario Bros. 3 at least 3 times. I'm sometimes good at this game. Sometimes I'm garbage at it. Today I'm garbage at it.
Yeah,
Today I'm very bad.
I've watched you,
die
and get hit numerous times,
and also get the card puzzle wrong a few dozen times as well. Let's see, with this one, no. Shit. Let's see. It's not that one. Oops. Oh no, this is definitely not my first time beating it. My first time beating Mario Bros. 3 was when I was younger, and I played on the Mario All-Stars cartridge. I then beat it on Mario Advance 4 for the Game Boy Advance, which is probably the easiest way to beat it. And when I finally got a complete in-box copy, no warp pipes. Whenever I did that, whenever I did these runs, I mean, I collect them all each time just because it's fun, but I don't really use them until unless I'm doing things like tonight, I'm just kind of screwing around. So the third time I beat it was on the original NES cartridge, which I found a complete in-box copy when I was living in Louisiana, and that is one of my prized gaming artifacts because, God, I love Mario 3. And but I haven't beaten it since that. I've tried to beat it on the Wii U, but the lag, if you're playing it on the TV from the controller, is bad.
Yeah, it is. I think I think that was the first time I've actually tried any of the virtual console games on the Wii U. I was really surprised because the Wii doesn't have that problem.
No, it doesn't. It's terrible. And you know me, I mean, I'm a sucker for Nintendo. I love what Nintendo does, and I love what they make because I'm 8 at heart, I guess. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's the Sky part of Sky World. I love this game.
But what's so weird is I would have expected it to be the reverse. Because
Better.
The game is stored on the machine. It's not stored on the control pad.
Yeah, I know. And because you were playing. Oh, shit. Oops.
Whoopsie. No, I was playing A Link to the Past.
Yeah, and you were noticing this better on the screen than it is on the gamepad.
Oh yeah.
Our viewer right here has quite the excellent game console collection as well. I do love having a mighty console collection, although I've got some consoles that nobody loves.
Virtual
like
Boy.
the 32X.
There's some people who like the 32X. No one likes the Virtual Boy.
I like the 32X. I mean, I sort of like the Virtual Boy, depending on the game. Like, Wario World's pretty good.
Well, as long as you take the thing to your head, sure, why not?
Okay, Brandon, so our viewer has said that his favorite Mario game is Super Mario World. What is your favorite Mario game? Because I don't think I know this answer off the top of my head.
I guess I'll probably say Super Mario World if I had to pick one. That's probably the one I played the most, at least the one I remember playing the most. Now, if we're going to go to any type of Mario game, then I might have to go into a completely random direction and say Super Mario RPG.
That's not random. That's a lot of people's favorite Mario game. Although, I remember one time you were a really, really big fan of Mario Tetris. Not Tetris, tennis, not Mario Tetris.
Well, that's because it's easy. It was an easy... I enjoy some sports games, right? And for whatever reason, Marios are just fun. I mean, they're not trying to be simulations or anything, so they're easier to play. And it had RPG mechanics, and, you know, it was just a fun little game to play.
Yeah, those were made by Camelot, if I'm not mistaken, right? The studio.
Yeah, I don't remember. Actually, yeah, I think so. That's a long time ago, sir.
So clearly, Mario Bros. 3 is my favorite Mario game. Although it's very weird. The reason why is very strange. Okay, so my first Mario game that was all my own was Super Mario World because the Super Nintendo was my first console. Still love Super Mario World. It's probably my second favorite. Probably contested now in a way by not New Super Mario Brothers, but Mario 3D World. Loved Mario 3D World. So I love the maps and I love the game design, and Super Mario World's excellent. It is an absolute masterpiece. But the first Mario game I ever played was Mario Bros. 3, and that's because my uncle brought his NES to my house, and I played it when I was like 4 years old. Like, my parents had me on videotape explaining how to play Mario Bros. 3 to the adults in the room.
Of course they do.
Because I was an arrogant little shit even at 4. And then I got Mario All-Stars for my Super Nintendo, which was an amazing Christmas gift that year. And all I wanted to play was Mario Bros. 3. I did want to play. I wanted to be better at Mario 1, and Mario 2 was so hard and esoteric to me. So I played Mario 3, but there was something wrong. It wasn't the Mario 3 that I played on the NES. It didn't look right. It was pretty, but it didn't look right. And it was always kind of an obsession of mine to play and beat Mario 3 in its original version, which I didn't get a chance to even try to until the Wii came out. So, and New Super Mario Bros. Wii is excellent. I think that what Nintendo's been doing with keeping the series going in with 2D with the newer games is excellent. I've beaten both of the New Super Mario Bros. I've beaten all the New Super Mario Bros. Titles except for New Super Mario Bros. 2. And that's because I don't have it. I never bought that one. And Nintendo doesn't price drop their games at all. So, it just died because I'm playing for garbage. I do love some Mario games. I love Nintendo's hardware and I love their systems, and that's why I'm glad whenever any third party tries to support it. Although, oddly enough, okay, so this one was on the bill for discussion tonight. There was a rumor going when the Switch kind of, started coming out, and they did like they whenever the Street Fighter 2 was coming out, and they said they were going to be basing their support for the system off of the sales of Street Fighter. Always hated that enemy. And I was like, okay, that's excellent. Cool. And then the rumor started hitting, whenever, if this game sells, it sounds like they've got a port of Resident Evil 7 going. Because whenever Resident Evil 7 was in development, Capcom went to Nintendo and said, hey, your game system is not powerful enough, it needs to be stronger, or we will not support it. And they made it, they gave it more power, so that Capcom would make games for them. So I'm a little disappointed that this is the Resident Evil games that we're getting. We're getting Revelations 1 and 2 for the Switch. And I have both of those for the Wii U and PS4. Brandon, you and I have tried to play Resident Evil Revelations 2 on the PS4. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, it was the co-op game. And we got stuck really fast in the first episode.
Oh, well, then I guess there's a reason why. I mean, I might buy it anyway, just so, hey, I have another game, and it's Resident Evil, and it's not a shitty Resident Evil. Not a great Resident Evil, but it's a Resident Evil.
It is certainly not.
But I already have them on PC, so no, I have one of them on PC because the second one they haven't released a complete thing of it yet. You still have to buy it by episodes, and I'm not doing that.
That's bizarre because you can get a complete set on any console.
I want to say the last time I looked, they do not have a complete set on PC.
That is odd. So, continue our conversation with our friend in the chat. Here's a funny story. So, my parents played the Mario games. They're the only games that my parents ever really played with me when I was growing up, as far as video games. But then it was this is a little embarrassing, I guess, if you really put it in context. But the first person to beat any of the Mario games in my house was my mom. My mom was like obsessed with beating Mario World and Mario 2 back when they were coming out, back whenever we were playing them on the Super Nintendo. So she beat World 3 and 2. She never beat Mario 1. So I actually bought my parents a Wii whenever I was in college. Remember trying to do that and help me out with that, Brandon?
Yes, vaguely.
I'm going to go on to another world since I'm dying a lot, and if I'm going to die a lot, I should die a lot in a different setting. And which one do you want me to die in, Brandon? World 6 or 7 or 8?
8.
I'm going to die in 8? Okay. I can go on and die in 8 for you, sir. Hope you enjoy the bloodshed. So yeah, I always like to remind my mom about that. That whenever I was growing up, she played tons and tons of Mario Brothers, if for no other reason than to remind my parents that they should never judge my video game habit. Oh, I just got bombed. This is gonna be embarrassing, Brandon. I hope you're happy.
I am.
Good evening, Pokey Nerds, the YouTube viewer. How are you doing tonight, sir? Oh, man. Brandon, I hope you're happy.
I am happy. Die again.
Die again? Why?
I don't know.
To satiate your bloodlust?
Yes. Because if you're not playing a game in misery, then you're not playing a game properly.
That is the weirdest philosophy I've ever heard for playing video games, man.
At least when it comes to watching someone play. I'm not here to watch you have fun. I'm here to watch you, just be to cry.
Well, I'm not going to cry. I've screamed before, but I'm not playing like Lightning Returns or goddamn last fucking boss fight in Quantum Break.
Oh, for whatever reason, I thought you were going to go with the Prince of Persia thing from the week.
Oh God! Oh God! Talk about frustrating last bosses. That one, at least the one in Quantum Break, is just hard. It's unbelievably broken, kind of hard, but it's not completely impossible. Like in goddamn, which one was that? The Two Thrones, right?
Was it Two Thrones?
Yes, it was. See, our person in the chat likes people to succeed in video games, unlike you, Brenton.
I just don't see it. It's just not any fun. If I want to see somebody succeed, then I want to play. I don't want to watch you succeed. I want me succeed.
But I like winning games, Brandon. Which is why I probably shouldn't have come to World 8 of Mario 3.
Yes, I have seen you die around the same location over and over again.
I'm out of. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm out of practice. I used to be better at this level because one of my favorite levels was the not this one, but the second one on the ship in the lava. That used to be one of my favorite levels in this game. Back when I was like 10 or whatever. Whenever I had the All-Stars pack, I guess I would have been 8 or 9 actually. I don't remember when that game came out. I just remember loving the hell out of it. I loved it so much that I bought it again for the Wii because. Of course I keep giving Nintendo money. Oh, Nintendo and Splatoon and its success. I mean, have you been at all tempted to buy Splatoon now that you have a console to play one of those games?
God, no.
Say it with more disdain.
I don't think I could. I mean, I don't even play my games I have currently that are multiplayer. That's just not what I enjoy doing. When I have people around or a group to play with, I might do it, not only because it's funny, but I will never do it on my own. It's the main reason why I haven't bought Overwatch. I just don't see a point.
I cannot get into the idea of buying Overwatch, and I don't know. I've heard it's good, but like you just said, I don't play my online shooters enough to. Like, I still haven't fulfilled my my 10-hour requirement for making you buy Battlefront whenever I got it.
Battlefront? Oh yeah, that's right. If you want to talk about a game I suck at, I can play Call of Duty, okay? I can do that one. But for the love of God, Battlefield and Battlefront and anything of that nature just eludes me for some reason. I can die. I can do that a lot.
I'm really good at dying in Star Wars Battlefront.
Especially in the flying missions. I have no idea what the fuck is going on other than I'm being shot at.
I'm pretty good at the flying missions, actually.
I mean, I will
really
destroy things, but I think most of the time it's bots. I don't think I'm killing somebody.
It's probably bots that I'm killing, but I've killed actual players too, but probably not as much. If I'm going to be completely honest.
I don't see how one can actually get good at it. It just feels like you're lucky. You just happen to be lucky that round that you had more kills than deaths.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. That's how I feel about any shooter because I'm so bad at them. I'm not saying you're wrong because you're better at shooters than I am.
I mean, it has much to do with like the size of the maps and just how chaotic it ends up being. And, with Call of Duty, yeah, it's a Twitch shooter, but the maps are so small that you're able to, honestly, in my opinion, strategize better than you ever could with something that's a map that's 3 times the size.
Really? How am I alive right now? I don't actually know. I know we had one more story on the bill for the podcast. What have you got, Brandon?
I don't know. You'll have to explain this. It's the one about Kojima.
Oh my! I kind of love this thing.
All I read was like, no one gets it. And I'm like, dude, no one gets you ever.
I can't imagine what it must have been like for him to give the design document out for Metal Gear Solid 2. Have you ever read the design document for Metal Gear 2?
No, but I've heard what's his name talk about it.
Oh my god, it's glorious! It's insane! God damn it! I did not know that you could swim in the lava under the lava ship level. That is cool. So, alright. Whenever he was explaining the game of Death Stranding to the newly minted Kojima Studios or Kojima Productions, nobody understood what he was trying to make. At all.
Are you surprised about that?
No. I don't know what I'm looking at when I see the trailers, other than, oh my god, hey look, it's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Which, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't wait to play this game because I'm not going to know what it is, but it's going to be something unlike any other developer will ever give us.
Did he tell us what the gameplay will be like? What it's going to be? What type of game is it going to be?
It's going to be a game you play with a controller, and there will be a plot because it's Kojima.
Is it an action game? Is it a what? Give me.
I mean, it looks like an action. It looks like it will be an action game. That is true. It looks like it will be an action game.
Will it? It could just be an action-oriented puzzle game. You don't know.
You're right. It could be an FMV game, for all fuck's sake. And he's just developing the most gorgeous engine in the world for it. Because have you seen the new visual demo they put out for the fog and, not weather, I guess, but fog and lighting system?
No.
In the Decima engine?
Nope.
It's quite lovely. It's very lovely. It's a 15-second clip of something I think was actually in the last trailer they put out. But now you can see that it has new fog and lighting. But no, if you ever want to see what I hate to say it, but like Kojima is a genius because only a genius could look at video games the way that man does. I'm not saying that his games are perfect by any measure. I could see how people would hate the games he makes, especially Metal Gear Solid 2 because goddamn Metal Gear Solid 2 is a thing. I love it, but that is a thing. He gets downright metaphysical and philosophical, I can't use words apparently, about everything in game design when in that document, talking about the nature of sequels and memes and all this stuff. Like memes in an actual sense, not memes like we know them now because of Facebook and whatnot. It's glorious, and it makes me wish I could find a copy of the document of Metal Gear Solid 2 even more, because I've literally seen that disc once, and that was in Goldsboro at the GameStop. God damn it, I just died again. I am sucking, Brandon. Why'd you make me come to this world? I might have been able to get past level 1 of World 7.
Brad, you're supposed to jump on him.
Bitch, I know that. Oh, but I mean, anyway, can you imagine what it was like for Kojima to come into the studio back in 1997 and say, okay, so one of the major set pieces of this game is going to involve a psychopathic ninja who teleports around the room, and he's going to make a nerdy man, and he's going to make a nerdy man piss himself. Come on, like, can you imagine being in the studio whenever that's being said? I mean, I guess otherwise they understood, oh yeah, military game and whatnot.
How did you get this game
horribly offensive, sir.
How did you even get that greenlit?
What, Metal Gear Solid?
2.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 2?
Just
all those dollars lining the engines of of Konami at the time, because it's not like Castlevania Symphony of the Night was a huge success, and also, man, how much money did they lose whenever they did Castlevania and Castlevania. Oh my God, what was the name of the crappy werewolf sequel?
talking about the one for
The
64?
N64 one, Brennan.
Oh, God.
How did I just die? Must have been a little too far to the left.
I don't remember that one.
You don't?
Legacy of Darkness.
Legacy of Darkness! Yes! That game was not good. I used my last warp whistle coming to this world, Brandon.
Well, to be fair, as much as I loved my 64, it had a lot of duds.
Yeah. But it had some good stuff, too, like Space Station.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, otherwise I wouldn't have loved my 64 if it didn't have anything good, but it had a lot of bad games.
Yes, and what it had the most of was games that had awkward transitions into full 3D.
Yeah.
Namely, Castlevania and Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. I need to find copies of those games because I'm trying to buy all the damn Castlevania games. But it's rough because those are not the cheapest. They're not Dracula X expensive, but they're not cheap either.
I actually have a
You
copy
have
of
Dracula X.
Yeah, I have that one. That was my first Castlevania game, actually.
Not the best first Castlevania.
No, but at the time I didn't know what the hell Castlevania was. I was like, this game's hard.
I remember borrowing it from you, and I got past level 2, I think. I never got much further because, ouch. Oh my. Don't die, Brad. You are big now. Don't die, because I would like to get to the ship mission and maybe do the really fast airship level
Yeah,
that ends the
you've
second
been
screen.
on this same level for a while now, Brad. What's going on here?
My asshole best friend has been... He demanded that I play the hard levels rather than the levels I'm any good at in this game.
To be fair, you did give me the option.
I did, in fact, give you the option.
You
I
should
just
not
didn't.
have done that.
I figured you'd make me do World 7. Most people hate World 7. Sweet, I made it! Woo! This is pathetic how badly I'm doing. But I made it. All right. I want to try what the guy said, and I want to try swimming in the lava. I've never done that before because I think that's a bad idea. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. All right. I didn't die. Woo! Did we cover everything on the bill?
Pretty much. Unless you want to, unless we talk about the Activision thing.
Oh yes. Okay. I think that's fun. All right. Here we go. So, Activision is quite pleased with the sales of the recently released Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Brandon, you played that. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It's Crash, but just, with a new set of paint.
Did you think that the graphics were ruining the difficulty curve of the original gameplay, or did you just understand that the originals were harder than piss? And
I just understood that the originals were hard, and I expected this one to be hard, so I didn't see a difference.
Okay, all right. So that means that you're not wearing the same set of nostalgia goggles as a lot of people. All right. So Activision is shocked, one, and now also they're gonna make more game collections like this of classic titles because hey, there's money.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do though.
I'm gonna. Excuse me, sir. Your rhetoric needs to go. Bye. Sorry. I just had to delete something in the chat because...
Did you delete the message or did you delete him?
I deleted the message. I need to block him. I am sorry, sir. We do not do that sort of thing here. All right. Hate to be like that, but, this isn't a family-friendly show, but it's we don't cater to being a jerk. That was cool.
Which is the internet.
I know, Brandon, that is the internet, but, if we can tell them it's not cool, then maybe someday they'll understand, hey, I can't be a douchebag.
You know what? I know what I want them to release.
Oh, shit. Okay, so what do you want to release? And you better not say Pitfall, because Pitfall was...
No.
Pitfall does not need to be made in 3D.
A collection of the Star Trek games.
Okay, which Star Trek games do you want specifically, sir?
I'm not sure, because I've not played any of them, but I know that some of them are supposed to actually be good.
Okay, I know of one that's supposed to be good. And that's the Elite Force, I think. Oh, God damn it, I just died again.
I don't know. Oh, what?
So Elite Force.
The only problem is that most of these were PC games, so, you know.
So you're just waiting on GOG in that case.
Yeah.
I think put Elite Force out, didn't they?
They have some of the Star Trek games. I mean, I guess I don't know if they'll actually do Tony Hawk, because they tried to do Tony Hawk and it didn't sell well because the game's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and that's not the game's, and that's not the original Tony Hawk's game's fault. That's them making a really crappy new one.
Well, that's true. This is a video game company we're talking about, and they aren't exactly the most logical people.
Well, I mean, actually look up the sales figures from the Tony Hawk HD thing that came out several years ago, because that may have been what generated the new game, and maybe they would then realize that people just want the old one back.
I know, they got the good scores.
Yeah, I remember that one actually doing pretty well. I missed my chance to get in lava. Guess I'll try it up here. I don't know. You know, I've been trying to think ever since we talked about that story, that I've been trying to think of Activision franchises other than Call of Duty.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is. It's so hard. It's so hard to sit here and think, Activision games that aren't Pitfall. I guess that's just a sign of how few Activision titles I've played. Like, I know that that they've been around since the Atari. Like, they are one of the oldest companies that's still around, other than Atari, and that's just Atari in name only. That's not Atari in terms of, legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet! You can, in fact, go under the level. This is. You can also die doing that.
I was about to say, it's like, does that help you survive in any way?
Apparently you can swim under the ships. I tried. I guess I didn't go low enough, and then I got wrecked.
Oh, yeah. It looks like you got smooshed.
Yes, I did. Oh, Brandon, whenever you put the podcast part of this out, you may have to trim down the live stream conversation a little bit.
Never. I don't know.
Never? Oh, shit, I was carrying that bomb. Oh, well, it's just going to be really weird for listens to it. You know, since this actual live stream is going to get, is going to pay Nintendo's, like, carpet cleaner or something like that for about 10 minutes. Oh, that's a lie. That would never happen.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at their titles. They really don't have anything. See, Tenchu really wasn't all that popular. I don't really see them doing that one.
You know, you say that. You say that, Brandon. You say that about Tenchu, but then last week, when I was at work, we had to stay late because somebody had dropped some money in the wrong part of the safe. So the guy who ran the customer service office was stuck in the office for like an extra 40 friggin' minutes that night, as I run right into a monster just now. I'm so glad that it remembers that I'd beaten the first level and just lets me go on ahead. So I'm talking to two of the cashiers and our security guard for like an hour because my work was done and I was just getting paid to sit there and talk about video games and books and movies and stuff, and I completely polluted their mind by informing them that Crooked Little Vein is a book that they should read. And by the way, if any of you kids are above the age of 18, you should totally read Crooked Little Vein. I love that novel. And I'm a horrible human being as a result. So I'm talking to these guys, and we get talking about, the classic games, and they're like, oh man, I love Tenchu. And they're like, and all three of them are like, hell yeah, man, why ain't they made a Tenchu game in a long time? And I'm like, what is this? I thought I was the only person who knew about this game that still talks about it. And I'm not trying to say like in like an elitist way. I literally don't think I can remember the last person that's not a YouTuber talking about Tenchu. in any capacity. So somebody still loves Tenchu, man. Don't even think that is not the case.
Honestly, I would still be surprised. I don't know who's actually asking for it. Those people are the first to ever. But
or that we know at least.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something I hear people talk about.
And me either. I mean, and there were 2 games. 2 friggin' games, and then one on the Wii that tried to continue the franchise back whenever Nintendo was probably paying everybody to try and make like mature rated content for the Wii. And that one was supposed to be pretty good. I always meant to pick up a copy, but I never did. But Ninja Metal Gear did not catch on in a big way that I ever really noticed. Mm-hmm. Now that said, I don't know of it being a bad game. I don't. I know of it supposedly is a pretty good game. I just got grabbed by a hand and dragged into... Oh, hell. Oh, shit. I've made it a little bit further in the game, and now I'm going to die in a whole new place. Brandon, you want to stay on the channel until I beat the game tonight?
Well, that might take a while.
The way I'm playing? Yeah. But I have enough items I could probably get through the last couple of levels. In all seriousness. I do have a couple of things here. But I won't use them to get through these levels because these levels are not hard enough for me to not try. Oh, god damn. I said earlier that I have beaten this game. Brandon, can you confirm for these people that whenever we were in college that I sat there and I beat this game on the Game Boy Advance?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
This man. You are not a good gentleman, sir. You are a foul human being. Oh shit! That fireball came after me. God damn it! Oh, how am I alive right now? Oh. Oh well. Anyway. As for the podcast, I think we are done with the podcast, Brandon.
I think so, because I really cannot find anything outside of Spyro that they could do, because they really, when you really look at their titles, they're mostly a publisher of other people. They really have not been responsible for their own stuff for the most part. I mean, yeah, look, I'm looking at it, it's like Quake. Well, they don't publish Quake anymore.
Nope, that's a that's a whole different company now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I miss Quake. I wish that I was good enough at Quake 1 to actually beat it, but I've only ever beaten the first 2 episodes.
I'm
sort of
disappointed that what we're getting is just the multiplayer thing. I like, the Quake tournament games,
Quake.
But I still would prefer a single-player Quake game.
And the last one they did wasn't even that good.
What was that, Quake 4?
Yeah. That was super unmemorable. Holy crap, how did I not die from that opening fireball attack?
But to be fair, that was Raven Software. That was not id.
Yeah, wasn't Raven Software responsible for mostly like Quake ports to console? Welcome to the chat, Kevin.
They were
TT20.
They were responsible for some ports and some other things.
Oh no! And the last really good Quake campaign I remember was Quake 2. So, and that one wasn't even as interesting, I think, as the first one. I actually still like the first Quake's aesthetic more. Like they did something. They basically made a game more in line with like if Doom and Hexen fucked and made another game. So that one was that's probably actually Quake 1 is probably still my favorite id Software game, especially if you're going for classics. I have not played through Reboot Doom to say whether or not I think it's better. I know that you think it's better, Brandon.
What's that?
I know that you think that the Doom from last year was better than anything else they've ever done, probably. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Get me out of this level.
I don't know. In terms of, like, a story, Wolfenstein was far superior.
Oh, God.
But
the New Order?
Yeah, but just in terms of, like, just sheer just gunplay and destruction and just killing things, I really can't outdo the new Doom.
Oh, and then I jumped right in the lava. That was ugly. I liked Wolfenstein: The New Order, but I was bad at that game.
Well, good. It shouldn't be easy.
Well, I know that games should not be easy, but like, okay, this entire past like 2 generations, like after Joe and I started dating, I started taking my gaming a little bit more seriously in terms of like my skill level, and I stopped playing games on like easy, you know, and like before that I played way too much on easy, you know, in terms of building up my skill level or whatever. I had to drop Wolfenstein to dead fucking easy to finish that game. It stumped me. And I'm talking about like halfway through, I just got stuck. But I did play the demo of Doom, and it was not as hard. Oh, okay.
No, it's not really all that hard. I mean, even when you start going up in difficulty, it's still not that hard.
Have you beaten it on a higher difficulty?
Yeah, every time I play it, I've increased the difficulty. Another thing I just love about it is that I can just boot it up and play. I mean, it's like Wolfenstein is very narrative, so it's not just I'm going to pick up and play Wolfenstein. No, if you're going to pick it up and play, you're going to play the story.
Yeah, and you can't, and that's something that you can do with the original Doom.
Yeah, so like with this Doom, I could just put it in and play, and that's what I do a lot. It's like one of those games like Witcher 3 that I just keep installed on my computer.
God, Witcher 3 was good. So good. All right. I'm going to do this level, and Brandon, why don't you finish up the podcast discussion for us, so we can close that recording.
I thought we already did finish it.
Oh, we didn't. No. We didn't do our close. You stopped the recording, didn't you?
No. No, it's still going.
Oh, okay. So are you going to close the recording?
No, you do it.
I'm in the middle of a very difficult game level here.
I don't care. I
died. Oh, man. Okay, so before I get back into dying... if you have enjoyed the show tonight, we hope you have. Thank you for listening/watching. If you're joining us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel or to our Podbean account where we do our podcast each week. We also do our book review show, The Expanding Universe, and we will have another episode of that coming up next week. This is the only recording we're doing tonight. Otherwise, you can subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at ZTriggerLive. And these are all the fine ways to enjoy Z-Trigger branded content of things that we do. And thank you for subscribing, sir. Until then, we are closing out the podcast, and thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're one of our podcast listeners, we will see you next week. And that's it for tonight. So good night, and we are continuing the live stream going forward.
Yay, laters.